It's a little weird that the camera is up there, but I've been trying to diversify the shots. So it's not like only the same space around the room. Anyway, hi. I have finished the sweater. This is the Twigs Sweater by Junko Okamoto, and it's my biggest, like my most ambitious ever colorwork sweater, sweater ever. I knit this on size 3 needles. It took like a whole year, on and off obviously, but it took me a hot second to make. And I started this last year in like around January, and I finished it about 3 weeks ago, I want to say. Like it's been hanging around literally on the hanger, so I can just like admire it for a bit, and then I blocked it, and then I've been wearing it for a whole week by now, I think. Maybe it's been a week. And I love it so much. It's so incredibly comfortable. This is gonna be the favorite sweater to wear. Even though it's starting to warm up here, it's still like 0 degrees in the morning. It's like still it gets up to 10. So it's like perfectly comfortable to go out with the sweater and just like a light jacket or like a cardigan. I'm kind of chilly. I'm just kind of chilly all the time. So I finished the sweater. I blocked it. It looks great in my opinion. There is some like subtle. Let me just get up. There is like some subtle puckering here that didn't really go away in the wash, but I honestly don't mind too much. Like as long as it fits as well as it does, and I can just wear it comfortably without it like bunching up. And like this was my biggest issue when I make circular yoke, is when you raise your hands and you put them down and this thing keeps being bunched up, but it doesn't happen with this sweater. Maybe it's because the design is just really, really nice. Like it's really well shaped up here. The increases go at a good rate, and it just like slopes on your shoulders and collarbone as well. Maybe it's just the fabric. The yarn that I used was mostly Drops Nord, and I think one skein of Flora. I think the black is a Flora. Maybe I think so. I might link to my Ravelry page where I have all the descriptions for this particular project. So yeah, it obviously does not look the same. I have good reasons for everything, but it obviously doesn't look the same as the original sweater. The like it's a dark brown sweater with like I think a beige or a white color work throughout. When I started it, and to this day I'm still kind of intimidated by short rows, but I don't skip them anymore. But when I had started this sweater a year ago, I was like, I don't like the short rows here. I'm just gonna improvise. Me, who's never knit like short rows in my life, or like rather I have super little practice with them. I decided that I was gonna improvise the short rows when I casted this on. They ended up looking really goofy and puckered up at the back. And I was like, this looks really bad. It doesn't sit well, and I didn't really want to risk blocking it and everything, and finishing the whole thing only to have like a really gnarly color here. So what I did is, once I was done with the body, I went back up, I picked the stitches just below the previous color, the old color, and I undid all of this. Like I could just cut it away, I undid it, I scrapped the yarn, and then I just reknit this whole thing all over again. And the sweater actually calls for a 2.5 millimeter needle, I think, whereas I used 3 millimeters throughout. I didn't want it to be as laborious. I think I wanted to complete this faster, but I also was like at the time when I was doing the knitting math, I decided that I didn't want it to be as giantly oversized as the original sweater. I wanted it to be more fitted. I separated for the sleeves at an earlier point. Because of my change in needle size, I more quickly reached the depth of the yoke that I wanted, and I just sort of improvised the rest. I think the sleeves are larger in the original pattern, or maybe I kept the sleeve count the same, and then I think there's either decreases or very tight knit cuffs here. For me, they were tight knit, but when I blocked them, they eased up quite a bunch, and I think that's it for that part. I adjusted some of the color work as well, because I really didn't want to knit this motif, or rather it's this motif. Again, I love it. It's so pretty. but I didn't want to knit it again, so I just like used elements of the others and combined them. I think this is an element that I added extra. I think this is an element that I added extra. I mean, it's just so fun. It's just like good clean fun to just modulate, combine the different motifs that as I came to them. Overall, it was really fun to knit, and the only issue that I had was kind of like a user error thing. One with the shirt rows that I didn't follow through with the pattern, but the other one being that the needles that I have, and I still have them here for some reason. That's a lucky coincidence. The needles that I had were all kinds of different ones. So I have some that are by drops. Don't know where I got this from. I got some that are aluminum. Others are like coated with like that grippy coating, like the grayish grippy coating. I don't know what it's called. You know, like I'm talking about these here. And that might have played some part in the gauge. But overall, like if you look up close, I think it looks pretty fine. Like this is not a biggie for me. Like I don't care if my gauge doesn't look like impeccable. The only issue is this here. And that is something I can live with. So the thing with these needles, or the thing that I learned as I was knitting this and as I was experimenting with color work, is that when you're knitting, your right hand needle needs to have enough space so that you can spread out all your stitches as to give room for the floats that are going to be on the back side of your work. That was that was like mind blown to me. Like I was so impressed with learning that. I was so like, I'm gonna implement this always. I'm gonna always follow that step. And the problem was that my needles were all very small, and I didn't have time, nor I wanted to like look for larger needles at the time. I was just like, I'm gonna just go with the circumference of like 80, I think. And this is I think this is like a 110 at one point, like at the biggest point, just like after this bit. So that was kind of a, for the future, if I do end up knitting more 3mm needle sweaters, I will probably invest in like larger needle circumferences. So that was like one thing. And the other one was that when we go to the ribbing, I initially had like the shortest circular needles that are often used for hats, and that is what I knit this on, and it was a nightmare because it was like stretching it out like incredibly so. And it was very tight. It was super like unpleasant. I kept pushing like the needle off with my index finger, and it had like a dent. I punctured it a little bit. So for the second one that I finished this year, I bought myself small circular needles. This is knit on the 2mm as opposed to the rest, which is on 3. And I got myself small circular needles to finish off the second sleeve, and that was like really great because I finished this basically within like 2 days on and off knitting. So yeah, as far as washing, I've not thrown it in the washing machine. I've learned my lesson, I think, and things that have alpaca or wool in them, I'll be very gentle with. I just soaked it in some wool wash, and I then put it in a mesh bag, like the ones that they sell in the grocery store, where they have I lost my train of thought. The grocery store where they have fruits and vegetables, they have like these cotton or nylon mesh bags that you can put your groceries in and reuse them. I bought some of those cotton bags, and I brought them home because I wanted to put hats, accessories, stuff like that in the washing machine, in the centrifuge, so that it spins the water out. Because I really hate like wrinkling, or rather wringing out the water from my garments. And I put this in there. I was like, nothing's gonna happen, right? Like, it's already, the water's cool, it's been sitting in its warm little bath, I drained most of the water from the tub, and I put it in one of those mesh bags, and I threw it in the centrifuge with another sweater, even in a tote bag that I have for just that occasion. And it turned out really good. It dries out, well, it doesn't dry, but like it wrings out a lot of the water without really damaging the sweater, in my experience. I did, however, send the centrifuge cycles. You can adjust that on our washing machine. I did set it to 800 cycles per minute, I think. And there's like an option to go up to like 1,400 or more, I forget. So I do recommend doing that if you, like me, hate wringing out your clothes, or like using like the towel and then the towel's super wet, and I don't have another towel for these things so that I can transfer it to the dry one. And after I was done with the centrifuge, I just like laid it out on the dry towel. And it took I think like a day and a half to dry, which was really great. Obviously, I don't mind. I don't wash these all too often, or I'm trying to, because I'm used to washing my sweaters every week, or rather I'm used to like sort of doing the laundry as often as I can. But with knit stuff, I first wear a t-shirt underneath at all times, and I change that. And two, it's cold enough that I don't sweat profusely, so it doesn't get dirty, it doesn't get smelly. So I'm really happy about that. So yeah, I'm super thrilled about this sweater. It turned out great. It had some hiccups with the color here. It had some little puckering, but overall, this is like my most laborious, my most time-consuming, and honestly very enjoyable project. Like, I sped through this part here so fast, like within a few days. This was so much fun, and I'm really interested in knitting more itty bitty needle sweaters like this one in the future. Some people did suggest, or rather recommend me, I even try 2.5 millimeters. And I actually like the fabric. I like that it's not incredibly stiff. I was worried it might be a little too thick and stiff, but this is a perfect fabric for both winter and this like transitional season moment in time. So yeah. What else did I touch upon? I don't know how much I used for any of this, but I had enough. I had enough of the beige color, and I always buy like a brown skein from Nord, and or like a white skein. I always have these on hand to use for other projects. So overall, that wasn't an issue for me. When I did the bind-offs, the pattern, I'm not sure what it goes to do. I'm guessing most people would want a stretchy bind off, but I don't, because there's enough room here for me to like roll this up as far as I want and to roll it backwards. So instead I did it just bound off in pattern, because I was worried that this might start flaring up or over time stretch up too much. And I find that binding off in pattern locks it to like a certain position like this for me, and it works out great, and I'm really happy with how this looks. Did the same on the bottom ribbing. Why am I forgetting these things? I did the same on the bottom ribbing. However, at the top, because I was worried that this might not have enough room to go through my head. Initially, the first color that I had made was so incredibly tight. I did a semi-Jenny surprisingly stretchy bind-off. So I think Jenny's bind-off does a yarn over every time on every stitch, and I did every other stitch, and that gave me quite a nice stretch while still keeping it in shape. Again, I was kind of worried that it might flare out, because I've had that happen to me. So a little bit. So I was pleasantly surprised that worked out well as well. And overall, I was worried that it would sit like this. Honestly, it doesn't bug me at all if it does. And even if it doesn't, I just pull on it, just like ever so slightly, and it just lays great. So yeah, I would recommend this pattern. I think it's pretty cute. The original is not my most favorite one, but I think it looks good on most people. The pattern is one size, so honestly, I can't help you with that. I just, oftentimes when I do encounter patterns like that, I never stick to the sizing they have. I always just adjust to my own body and what I like. I don't like super oversized. I like having like 10 to 15 centimeters in positive ease. I don't like fitted stuff, so you'll have to figure that all out. So yeah. This is what I've done, and I'm kind of like done with like the big knits. I feel like I'm like losing steam, or rather like focusing on things that are more springy. I'm looking into getting some linen yarn or cotton linen and making like a small cardigan for the summer, or begin working on it. I've been enjoying watching people's new patterns or little tees. I'm still like kind of dubious, not dubious, but I'm like questioning if I should make a t-shirt for myself, because like summer in Bulgaria, or even summer here, it's kind of warm. Like I'm not gonna be sitting in a short sleeve knit thing. Like if it's warm enough for a short sleeve for me, it will be just a normal cotton t-shirt. And with my idea that I need to wear something underneath these so that it doesn't get too dirty, or it doesn't get like too mangled or whatever from sweat, I feel like a t-shirt is not the best choice for me. But I want to knit one so badly. There's like the by Orzetta. There's like the moon tee, I think it's called. I'm gonna link. I might link it, or I might just like leave it for another video where I'm gonna like say the t-shirts I've been eyeballing. There's been some new patterns coming out. There's been some test knits that are like kind of exciting, like to look forward. And Wenzel has like a new t-shirt which is called the short tee, which is really pretty. But I feel like t-shirts, I feel like I'm gonna knit a t-shirt and I'm gonna regret it so much for spending so much time and energy and money on something that I'm not gonna wear. Because for the most part, I do wear my sweaters. Some get more love than others, but if I don't wear something, I either gift it away like the next year. I've already gifted away sweaters that I've shown you like 10 videos ago on that one video where I show every one of my sweaters. I've already like gifted and sold some of those. So anyway, I'm dubious about t-shirts. I do want to knit one. I do want to wear them, but I feel like it won't be the best. That's why I'm like trying to lean into getting a cotton, viscose, linen mix of thread or like of yarn, and trying out that and seeing if it's a good fit for me. I do enjoy wearing thin cardigans that are very lacy in the summer, and I do put those on for like if I go to the sea, if I go to the mountains. I do like having something like that on hand that's more airy and holy, and you can just combine it with like a t-shirt and some jeans. So yeah, in other news, I have been knitting some of my remainders, some of my like that one cardigan that I did, the modified petite knit cardigan. It's even here. This was my leftovers. I had 2 of these skeins, slightly less than 2 because I did need like the 2 grams to finish the other one, and I was super scared that I won't have enough, so that's why I ordered 2. So I had 2 of these balls, and I decided to make myself a same yarn choice hat. This is following the petite knit Oslo hat. However, I don't like the triple folded brim. It's like very overwhelming to me. Like it looks really bulky. I don't enjoy that. So I just did like a double fold, and yeah, and this is what it turns out. I've done this once before for my cousin, and this time I made one for myself, and it fits really snug and it's really warm. It's not as cold anymore outside for me to... I'm gonna message. It's not as cold for me outside to wear this, but I'm just preparing for next year. I'm just using up things that I've had on my mind, things that I've noted down that I want to complete. And this is one of them. I have a little bit more yarn from this, but I might try and make like a little baby sweater for some friends that are having babies, or you know, for my own stash in the future, or mittens or anything like that. Like I have a decent amount of leftovers now that I can start thinking of projects for them. So yeah, I think I knit the small size. It's either 98 stitches or 102. It doesn't really matter because you need to like determine what fits your head. It doesn't matter what I made in this case. Also because this is I think a sport weight yarn, and the pattern calls for I lost my train of thought again. The pattern calls for fingering plus lace, and mine is a brushed alpaca, which is slightly thicker than the regular mohair and sport. So yeah, that's that. And this is another thing that I had in my head to create, which is the Barely Bonnet hat, baby hat bonnet. But that it's a free pattern. I can link it below if I don't forget. And I had this boucle that was gifted to me, and wanted to try out in making like an animal hat with, or some sort of scarf that has like an animal at the end, sort of like it wraps around the road and just like hangs there. I still have this much in stash. Like I still have this much of this mystery boucle. And I think it turned out really, really cute. I used the same drops that I had left over from this, held it double to create the brim. Yeah, it's a brim. To create the brim, this is the white from the same sweater, again held double to create the ears, and the rest is the boucle. And yeah, I got myself, well, it's not recently, I keep saying that, but it isn't. I got myself a while ago a French knitting doll, and it's... Sorry about that. And it's this little thing. I got this from Sister Green's, Sostre Negrene, I think it's called. Let's see if it focuses on it. And this is a thing you can knit on I-cord with, I guess. I don't know, I just call them like little knit cables. And this is how I made these little strings here, these little straps. And I think it turned out really cute. And yeah, going into the stash. I'm really happy with it. So, what else? I finished these socks just now, like not even like a couple hours ago. I finished the second heel, and this is how they turned out. And they're nice. They're nice. However, again, as I said, I didn't enjoy working with the dark yarn. For some reason, they smell kind of like tar. Not like tar, but it smells like a certain chemical that I can't put my finger, on. Again. Like I couldn't put my... Like, I don't know. It reminds me of something. It's not pleasant. And this is the only skein of yarn that I have that smells like that. I haven't washed it yet. I'm guessing it will go away after the first wash. I'm guessing it's some sort of oil that they used for this particular one yarn. But I have other colorways of the same yarn and other, like, it's from the Shanemeyer. I don't know what it's called. I forget the name of that one yarn. It's from that, like, really long German yarn brand. Regia, I don't know. And it's the only one that smells like that. Kind of weird. So yeah, finished the second sock. Looks kind of disheveled, but that's okay. It's gonna get blocked and it's gonna look nice. And I'm guessing one of my men, one of the men in my family is gonna get a pair of socks for Christmas. So yeah, didn't enjoy the pattern too much. I mean, it's a very cute pattern. Probably with like, it would look even better with like a lighter color, maybe not as busy so that the pattern can come through. But with dark, I kept losing track which row I should be on and whatnot. And yeah, I don't like working at this yarn. I think I still am gonna keep the yarn and probably make like a scrappy stripe sweater where I hold a double, sort of like a DK weight, and like I alternate between like a dark row and like a light white or something like that. That's at least what I've been having in mind for all these like leftover woolen bits from sock yarn. So yeah, finished that thing and just like put it away. And I also finished this sock. Last time you saw it, I think it was somewhere here or maybe somewhere here. I don't keep up. So I finished this sock. I think it turned out pretty cute. I need to make the second one. I'm on the single sock aisle now, or I don't know what it's called. Like sometimes people I've seen people talk about how they just want to get through like different motifs and designs like quickly, and they just knit the one sock and it just like sits there. I'm currently here. I have 2 pairs of socks like that. I'm not gonna show you the other one just yet because I've been working on my own little, I wouldn't say pattern, it's just a vanilla sock with a chart that I wanna at some point share for free, and I wanna only share it when I have a second sock made. So yeah, this turned out great. I'm really happy with it. I need to get moving and crack the second one out, but I'm not too bothered by it because I've also been doing other things, and I'm gonna show you one of the things that I've been doing after I'm done with this. So yeah, it turned out great. Super happy with it. I think this is already washed and blocked. I think it smells like my soap. I think it is. I think it's already washed and blocked. Yeah, judging by the ribbing here. And I think it turned out pretty cute. Maybe not the best idea to make this a pink color. I don't know. You tell me. It is a pink that's repeated. It's this pink here. So in a sense, it works. And I feel like it's gonna look really cute even if it just like this much pops out of your shoe. My shoe. In other news, I have been working on some embroidery. I got a bit of an embroidery kick a couple of days ago. I was like, I need to start making some new things for my store. Basically, I need to start making some originals, some embroidery, some felted goods, bags for my store, other than my prints and stickers and etc. So I've been working on this little mushroom gal. She's gonna be carrying some sort of like leafy here, or a plant. I think maybe like a dandelion. So I have been working on this thing for the past week when I wasn't drawing, and I think it looks pretty cute. It's very detailed work. In the past, I used to do embroidery with 2 strands held double, or rather 2 strands, and then like you double them over and you tie a knot, and you have 4 at all times. And this time around, I'm only using 2, and that creates like a lot of neat little detailing that you can like shape the face better, add like little whites and black and like little eyelashes on the character, which I really enjoy, but obviously it takes like a heck of a long time. And these things, if I have to price them accordingly, they end up being kind of expensive. And I see my camera is going to shut off in a bit, so I'm just going to do it myself again. Okay, see you in a bit. I don't know why it keeps like doing that. I don't want to, like, can I like talk for more than 24 minutes before it turns red and it starts like flashing at me? Anyway, so yeah, I'm super excited to be making more of these. I'm actually prepared the second one here already. I don't know if you can see. It's another little mushroom fella creature girl boy thing, going off on its merry way. And yeah, gonna just have fun with these. Make at least 3, hopefully. I don't know when the shop update will be, unfortunately. I've been getting asked by some people, but I am moving away from Etsy, as I mentioned before, and I need to build my new storefront, which takes a lot of energy out of me. I'm building it with the Wix, and I've already paid for it. Even like everything's set up, I just need to create the actual landing page, the website, the storefront, the item inventory, like all that. And right now, I just want to focus on like making things while the weather is like really nice. Because in the summer, when it becomes too sweaty to do anything, like with knitting and embroidery, I'll just be sitting somewhere with a laptop, basically like tapping away, and I can take the time then. Hopefully I will have the store ready by early autumn or like late summer, because that's like a lot of my things are very thematic of that time of year as well. So yeah, I'm doing this. I've been doing embroidery. And last but not least, yeah, that's all. Last but not least, I got a really sweet message on Instagram from someone that watches my videos here, and her name is Marie, and she's from France, and she offered to send me one of her leftover skeins. It was a ball, but she made it into a skein so it can fit in the little mail envelope that she sent me. And she sent me this little mysterious skein of yarn for socks, and this is like actually my first time having like a proper stripy yellow skein, and I've always wanted one, but I've never found one. So, I didn't search too hard, but this one is really cute. I really enjoy it, and I can't wait to make some cute little socks with it. I think it will be a kind of a mindless knit for me. I might just make like a contrasting cuff and toe and heel. So yeah, thank you so much for sending me this. And as in the same envelope, she had packed me some nice little teas. They look very fancy. I feel like I have to dilute them a lot to enjoy them. I do that a lot. I make like a whole pot of one bag sometimes if the tea is really good. So yeah, gave me these teas. Made me a sweet little card. Well, rather, wrote me a sweet little card, which is this thing. I'm not gonna really read it out or anything, but I just wanted to show you the picture. It's really cute. This like pooch sleeping in a, I don't know, like a teepee. Kind of reminds me of a pencil as well. It's very cute. And she also included one of these doohickeys, which is, I guess, very fitting for the embroidery kit that I'm on. I've never used one of these. It's like a little thingamabob, a little hoop that you can then make a tiny itty bitty embroidery on, and I guess you can use it for like a necklace, although I won't, or like a stitch marker or like a progress keeper. So I need ideas on what to embroider in this like itty bitty hoop. And also there was very many cute stitch markers and progress keepers. I love this one. I love this like little star one. This is so sweet. Can you see it? Does it need to focus on me? Yes. I like this little star. It's super cute. I love the color. And there were many acorns, and let me see if I can grab one of each because I can't hold it. Acorns and pine cones and a little pig, and it's super cute. I like it so much. Look at them. Can you see them? Can you see them? Ooh, not too well. Maybe I just dangle one at a time. Camera, please. Please be merciful to me. Like this? How do people do this? Like, what do you do? Do I just like tap it over here? Hey, focus. Maybe I'll show you B-roll footage of this, but yeah, unless I already have. Future me, please do something about this. They're very sweet. Thank you so much. I was really overjoyed to get them super quick too. They were like here within like 2-3 days. Like the borders don't mean anything. They just flew over super fast. So yeah, I have some dreams and plans about what to knit next, but I've been just sort of like taking a back seat and sort of reevaluating what I wear and what I have and what's the best thing to make for myself for the summer, because I know that I won't be knitting too much in the summer, or I'll just keep it to socks. So yeah, I've been just admiring the new patterns coming out, or sort of eyeballing things that might work for me, just adding things to my likes, favorites on Ravelry, and just making some notes. For now though, I think this will be my last video for a little bit before I have something else to ramble about, basically. But I am on YouTube, and I do watch other people, and I'm super excited to see what they show and tell. And yeah, hope to do this again soon. Uh, Maybe within a month. Maybe I will be going away to Bulgaria, to my home, on in the middle of May, or like, yeah, I think it's in the middle of May. On like the 15th, I'm flying back. So I'll be at least knitting on the plane. I'm kind of terrified. I need to bring needles on the plane. I'm gonna bring the ones that I don't love too much. I have like a pair of Knit Pro, the one with the long one and the short one, and they're not my favorite, but they work. I'm willing to part with them if like border control says, hey, these are too sharp, don't take them on. I'm like, but take them, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna be knitting on the plane maybe, and I'm gonna show you what I pick up, I guess. So yeah, that's all for me for now. Thanks for listening to all of this. Sorry if I overwhelmed you. It's kind of how I go. And yeah, happy knitting. Hope to talk to you soon. Bye.